A young girl lived in the forest together with her younger brother and sister. As the eldest, she had to care for them and bring food to the table. With a self-made bow and arrows, she headed out to hunt. A girl with a dress made of rags and long silver hair was the attention of the forest. People who ever saw her thought it was Artemis, the god of the hunt, that she was just a normal girl that worked hard to survive. She lived there with her parents, hidden from the outside world. Her parents found that the world was too harsh and full of danger, so they wanted to protect their children. Sadly, her parents died from a high fever, and she had to take care of the family. Meanwhile, J-Hope and his friends were camping somewhere in the forest. The night had already fallen when they arrived at their spot. J-Hope, can you fill the bottle with water at the creek over there? Here is a flashlight, Jin asked while handing over the light. Why me? J-Hope's voice quivered. Because you can't put up a tent. You are most useful to us if you get some water. Or are you scared again? Namjoon chuckled. No. J-Hope responded with confidence. Then go on. Jin and Namjoon started laughing. J-Hope walked towards the creek with 2 bottles in his hands and nothing but a flashlight to clear his path. He got scared by every little noise until he spotted the little creek. He hurried up to fill the bottles so he could return quickly. But then a ball of light shone in front of him, lighting up the whole area. His fear went away in an instant, and he wondered what that strange ball was. He dropped his flashlight and the plastic bottles on the ground while following the light. It went into a bush and disappeared. He followed it inside and then saw her. She was brought there by another ball of light. J-Hope was stunned by her beauty. Her long silver hair sparkled in the moonlight. Slowly, he approached her, and when he was really close, she finally noticed him. Shocked to see someone this near, she turned around and tried to run away. No, wait. I'm not going to hurt you. J-Hope raised his voice and gently took her arm so it wouldn't hurt her. She stopped and turned around, looking at him. She had never seen a man other than her brother and dad up close. That made her curious. She went closer and walked around J-Hope, inspecting him from head to toe. Who are you? He raised one eyebrow and stared at her in admiration. My name is Mira, she said in the softest tone. Why are you here all alone? It's dangerous for a girl, he said with concern. She felt she could trust him, so she didn't hesitate to answer. I live here. J-Hope realized he was still holding her, so he let go. Here? Where is your family? He asked, looking around. My parents died not too long ago, so it's only me and my 2 little siblings, she said, looking down. But why are you here? It's almost midnight. She looked up at the sky, observing the stars between the trees. I'm camping with my friends, and they asked me to get some water, J-Hope explained, but then realized something. Oh no, the bottles. I think I lost them. He began to look around on the floor. Let me help, Myra offered, scanning the area. It is too dark. I will have to look tomorrow when there is more daylight. J-Hope sighed in defeat. She smiled and snapped her fingers. Again, that mysterious ball of light appeared in front of him. What is that? His eyes fixated on it. That is my companion. It helps me when it is dark, guiding me through the darkness, she said, as the ball jumped onto her hand. Well, I think it might have brought its friend because it showed me the way to you, he said, smiling. Really? She looked at the light with curious eyes. I think they like you. Now come on, let's go back, she said, walking ahead. The ball in her hand jumped into the air, lighting up the whole area. They both returned to the creek, and thanks to Myra's companion, they found the bottles in no time. Suddenly, noises came from the bushes, and Myra spooked, running away. Wait, don't go. It's just my friends, J-Hope yelled, but she was already gone. J-Hope, who are you talking to? Jin looked around, but all he saw was darkness. Mira hid behind a tree with the ball in her dress to hide its light. Nobody, J-Hope said, shocked they had heard him. Since Mira had run away, he decided to keep it a secret. Sorry, I couldn't find the creek before, J-Hope added while filling the bottles with water. They filled the bottles and went back. J-Hope looked behind him at the bushes, hoping to glimpse the girl, but she had no intention of revealing herself. She was too scared. She watched them leave and returned empty-handed to her siblings. They would have to eat fruit again. The next day, J-Hope woke up early and went to the creek to wash. He thought about the girl. Was she okay? Would he see her again? He splashed water on his face and looked at his reflection. In the water, he saw the light ball again and looked up. Without hesitation, he followed it. He continued walking and heard beautiful music. With every step, the melody grew louder until he could see her again. This time she was having a different bow in her hand. A bow to play her old violin. She was playing it so elegantly and J-Hope really could feel her emotions. He took little steps to go closer to her. He wanted to hear more, so he didn't want to disturb her until he stepped on a branch. The girl halted every move and turned her head around to look towards where the noise came from. J-Hope, she sighed from relief. I'm sorry, did I scare you? He asked while walking towards her. A little bit, she smiled. But how did you find me? She looked confused at him. This. He pointed to the second light ball that was hovering behind him. She chuckled in a cute way. This violin is beautiful. He looked closer to it and admired the design on it. This old thing? It belonged to my father. He taught me to play it and every day I practiced. She told him, reminiscing about the times with her dad. You are really good at it. J-Hope smiled, making Myra flustered. Thank you, but I still have a lot to learn. Her face went red because of his compliment. I really hope to see you again because tomorrow I'm leaving. He put his hands on the tree trunk so that he was able to lean back. He looked at the sky, sad that he was leaving in a day. Already? She started pouting. I am not leaving yet, so let us make the best out of it. He smiled, trying to cheer them both up. So what can we do around here? He asked her. She knows the woods inside out. I want you to meet my younger siblings. They will be happy to see a new face. She stood up full of excitement. J-Hope agreed to her wish and followed her to a little cabinet. Her brother and sister were playing together inside the house. Acha was playing with an old doll while Woo-sung had fun with a little car that only had 3 wheels left. J-Hope felt so sorry for them. Growing up like this. I'm back, she yelled, making them both turn around to face her. Sis! All stood up at the same time with a smile and ran towards Mira. Happy that she was back, and they noticed another figure behind her. Who is this? Acha hid behind Mira, making her chuckle by her little sister's cute behavior. Don't be afraid. He is not going to hurt you. He is my friend, and his name is J-Hope. She looked at J-Hope with a broad smile. J-Hope kneeled down to their height. You are one handsome fella. And you look so beautiful just like your big sister. He smiled, catching a glimpse of the flustered Mira. The kids' faces lit up by his compliment. They also had silver hair just like their big sister. So, what are you playing? Can I play too? J-Hope showed interest. They showed their toys so enthusiastically. This is the first time that they could play with someone else besides themselves. After playing, the kids started to complain of hunger. Sis? I'm hungry. Acha held her tummy that was growling. I'm sorry. I couldn't catch anything yet. Just have a little more patience. Here, take some fruit. Mira gave her some berries. J-Hope couldn't stand the situation and went back to his tent. He took his backpack and some food from Jin and Namjoon without them noticing. Then he left again, all sneaking around in secret. He arrived back at the cabinet and sat down on the ground. He opened his backpack and the kids were looking all curious at him, wondering what's in it. "Here, I have some sandwiches and cookies." He gave a sandwich to each child and offered one to Mayra as well. But she refused. She wanted to keep it for her siblings, but J-Hope forced her. "Eat! What if you get sick? Who is going to take care of them?" He pointed to her little siblings. Eventually, she took one and devoured it because it was so tasty. J-Hope stayed until the night started to fall. They had so much fun together, and Mira caught herself a few times staring at him while he was playing so intensely with the children. "I'm sorry. I really have to go. I'll come back in a few days. Work is calling." He looked down, feeling guilty for leaving them alone again. "It's okay. The children will miss you though. I will miss you." The last part she spoke underneath her breath. "Me too, but I promise I'll take some nice things to eat with me." He smiled and waved goodbye to Woo-sung and Acha. Mayra walked with him until the edge of the forest. She hid behind a tree while J-Hope was walking away from her. Every once in a while, he looked back at her. He didn't want to be apart from them. Every step he took further away from her, the more his heart ached. Oh, how he wished he could turn around and stay with them. But unfortunately, life was calling. After a few days, J-Hope went back as promised to Mayra and her siblings. He brought enough food with him for a few days. He tried to remember the way to her house, but everything looked the same from his point of view. Suddenly he heard noises from behind him. The footsteps were coming closer and closer, and he quickly hid behind a wide tree. In the distance, he saw Myra running away. He squeezed his eyes to see what was happening, and spotted other people running after her. He knew that he had to help her, if not, they would catch her, and God knows what they would do to her. He saw her moving towards the little creek, where they first met and tried to be there before her. He ran like crazy, and here and there he stumbled, which caused him almost to fall. He arrived at the creek and hid behind a big rock. He saw her coming towards him, and just when she passed him, he grabbed and pulled her to him, making her fall into his embrace. As he was holding her, he stepped back into a crack between two big rocks. He kept moving back until no sunlight touched them anymore. Her body was pressed against his due to the small space. She could feel him breathing hard. The hunters passed by, following Myra's companion who was making a diversion. "Wait for just one more minute, until they are completely gone," he whispered very low, making sure Mira heard him. She felt a bit uncomfortable, yet she wanted to stay close to him like this. The feeling his touch gave her was indescribable. She wanted to bury her face into his chest, smelling his scent. "You're safe. They are gone. What happened?" He looked down at her. She woke up from her trance and looked up at him. "I don't know. I heard them yelling the name Artemis and then started to run after me." She slowly got out of his embrace. "Artemis? That's the god of the hunt. Maybe they are associating you with her. They want to capture you so they can sell you." He stepped into the sunlight again. "Why?" She looked down, not understanding. "People are greedy. Some care about nothing but money and power, and they will do anything to get it." He grabbed her shoulders, looking into her eyes. "You aren't safe here anymore. Come live with me where I can protect you." He kept looking at her, waiting for her response. "But I can't leave my siblings out here. They will die without me." She was on the edge of crying. "Of course they come along. I would never leave them. I have plenty of space." He smiled, reassuring her. "I can't do that. I'm invading your personal space." She shook him off, tears falling as she turned around. J-Hope put his head on her shoulder and hugged her for comfort. "No, you are not. If you come with me, you won't have to worry about hunting for a meal anymore. They will get everything they need," he said softly in her ear. Myra had to decide what was best for her siblings. They would get food every day instead of wondering if she would catch a prey or not. "Okay, we will come with you." She felt so safe in his embrace that she couldn't say no. She didn't want to part with him anymore. "Let us get the kids." He smiled and took her hand. After packing the most important things, all four went to J-Hope's place. Still afraid of the unknown world, Myra knew this was the best decision. When they entered his house, they all looked around with big eyes. Not even a few seconds later, the kids were already starting to run around, feeling at home. "Thank you for your kindness, J-Hope. I will always be in debt to you for this." She looked at him with sparkling eyes. "Really, it's nothing. Come on, let me show you your room so you can start unpacking." He took her upstairs to her bedroom. When she saw her bed, she didn't hesitate to jump face down on it. This was the first time she would sleep in a warm, comfortable bed. J-Hope chuckled at her action, and due to embarrassment, she got off. "Here is your suitcase. I'll go check on your brother and sister," he said, placing the suitcase in front of her. He turned around, ready to leave, when Myra stopped him. "J-Hope, wait!" She called out and walked toward him at a fast pace. Out of the blue, she pecked him on the lips. She retreated, looking down, playing with her fingers. J-Hope stood in shock at her sudden action. "I'm sorry. I didn't know what came over me. Just pretend I did nothing. I will begin unpacking." She turned away, but J-Hope stopped her by taking her hand. He pulled her close, gently tilted her chin up, and kissed her back. Now Myra was the one in shock, not expecting such a response so soon. Her mother often told her stories of how her parents met, claiming you could know your true love at first sight. Myra didn't believe it until now. She wasn't afraid of J-Hope. She saw something in him that sparked inside her heart. J-Hope stopped kissing her and pressed his forehead against hers to catch his breath. "Thank you, J-Hope, for everything. How can I ever repay you?" she asked, pulling back to look into his eyes. "You only have to stay by my side. That's all I want," he replied with a smile, hugging her tightly. "I promise," she said softly, hugging him back. The end. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.